fish, lambs and willy throwing. We've got it all tonight. And before this display of lies, with some strong language, news for you.
Good evening. Welcome to Have I Got News for You? I'm Victoria Coren Mitchell. In the news this week, at a Lancashire pet shop, there are signs that nearby fracking is taking its toll on some of the residents. There's evidence that since becoming a father, Olympic diver Tom Daley might have let himself go. And after being given an extra £1 billion in the budget for the MOD, a jubilant Defence Secretary Gavin Williamson celebrates by blowing it all in one go. On Ian's team tonight is a comedian who used to run one of the roughest pubs in the East End of Glasgow. And if any of the regular drinkers are watching, I'm sure you'll recognise me from Only Connect. Please welcome Janey Godley. And with Paul tonight is the host of Judge Rinder, which means we have a lawyer on the show this week to go with our other 614 lawyers. Please welcome Robert Rinder. And we start with the biggest stories of the week. Ian and Janey, have a look at this.
Oh, it's the Chancellor with his giveaway budget. Here it is.
A man that can't plug a thing in, which is normal.
Oh, and that's money.
Yeah.
We've got loads of it now. Those of you who thought we were in the middle of austerity, we're not. It's finished, so that's a happy story. On we go.
That's it. Budget's done.
What's the personal allowance fudge?
There's been a fudge about people's personal allowances. But just like every other budget for the 28 years of this series, I was watching the other side. So I can tell you what happened in Bonanza.
What did happen?
Some cowboys rode up and down.
That's more or less the budget.
Oh,
Why was Liz Truss sitting on Sajid Javid?
Have you got any proof of this?
Yes. Where's the evidence?
Well, unfortunately, we're not allowed to show the evidence because it's in the Houses of Parliament. We can't.
Hearsay, case dismissed.
But apparently there wasn't room. She was trying to squeeze in. There wasn't room for her, so she had to shit.
Everybody wants...
Let's move on from the seating. What about marriage and the budget?
You're allowed to get married anywhere. He announced it beforehand, and then we didn't hear it at the time. But you can get married now. If anyone wants to, I will officiate. No, you can get married in a burger joint, you can get married in a tent, you get married in a public toilet, and then you get cheaper rates.
I thought you could get married anywhere already.
In Scotland, you can.
Oh, can you?
Yeah.
Yes,
That's what happened to me when I was going to the shops.
What did you think of the jokes in Philip Hammond's speech? You enjoy the jokes?
No, I didn't, because I didn't see it. I was watching Bonanza.
We had the budget on Monday.
Yes.
Specifically so that no one could do any Halloween jokes.
Ah.
He literally changed the timing of it, because he said, I don't want people doing the Hammond House of Horror. You see, which is quite an amusing joke. Yeah. He didn't want any Halloween jokes. He didn't want people saying, is it a trick or a treat? Come on, it's Phil Hammond. It's obviously a trick.
To commemorate the joyful occasion of Brexit,
Yes.
What is Philip Hammond going to give us?
There's a 50p to celebrate Brexit. It's an interesting choice of words. It was going to be £1. It's a special coin, and on the back of it, it's going to say, we love everybody who doesn't come from Britain.
We don't know exactly what's going to be on it, but some sort of message for Europe. One person suggested this message. Does anyone remember the old Euro 50p, the 1973 one?
It had hands on it, hands reaching out. It's now been adopted by the Saudi royal family.
Yes.
And why does a 50p coin have a flat edge? Does anyone know the reason?
So we can throw it at politicians.
Apparently it's so you can get it out of a Scotsman's hand with a spanner.
Really? Is that the answer?
What would happen if somebody said that to you in your old pub?
Then we would be singing songs at their wake.
Who's been having some money problems regarding Brexit?
Nigel Farage.
What about Aaron Banks?
Oh, he's in trouble. He spent months saying, ha ha, it's all lies, you're a big liar. And now he's being caught, and as we say in Glasgow, you're teased out, son.
What does it mean?
It means, in legal terms, you're going to get hauled into court and get sorted. But we like to say, you're teased out, son.
Because that's good, because it's neutral. It's not saying he's guilty, because we wouldn't want to say that.
No, we wouldn't want to say that.
Because that's very premature.
We would just mention it in the form of hot liquids.
Excellent.
You're teased out, son.
But that sounds like very good news.
It is good news. He deserves to be dragged into court. He orchestrated a complete lie. He sold Brexit on a lie.
No, I mean, it sounds like good news that tea's ready.
Oh, right.
What has enraged teachers about the budget?
Oh, there was a phrase, wasn't there? Little extras, was that the phrase?
Yeah, like books, that sort of thing.
Like a roof. Little extras they need.
It's only schools. They didn't say it to the Ministry of Defence. No. Here's some little extras, some guns.
Now, but the other problem with the money for schools is that the Chancellor has allocated less money to schools than he has to what?
Potholes.
Potholes.
Yeah. Big problem.
Well, I wonder if we should try to get a deeper understanding of the problem.
Yes.
By playing a game of Name That Pothole. The way it works is, I'll show you a pothole.
Yeah.
And you have to tell me where it is.
At last, my specialist subject.
Fingers on buzzers.
Margate. Outside number 43, Hillcrest Terrace.
I'll give the point to whoever's closest. You say Margate, you say...
Bournemouth. It looks like a Bournemouth pothole.
Is it somewhere in between?
It's Islington.
Islington.
Oh, that's
Is
where I
that
live.
near a Bournemouth or Margate?
Margate.
Margate. All right, the points go over there. Do you know what? In the borough of Islington, they have a 100% clear-up rate on the potholes.
Yeah.
These are figures from the Pothole Spotters website, which is called...
Potholing for beginners.
fillthathole.org.
Wow.
And potholes is the first thing that comes to people's minds, isn't it?
And where's this? Paul and Robert?
Cheltenham.
This time you're definitely nearer. It's Bath.
Yes, exactly.
That's John Dawley Brown watering his pansies in Bath.
Yeah.
Must be tricky when he's pricking out. Not many gardeners in. Oh, I can't resist it. Let's have one more. Where's this?
Australia.
I think you're going to be closer this time.
Is it Essex?
No, it's Wisbech near Ely.
I have to tell you, that looks more like the sort of Fill My Hole website that I've seen.
A few more things about the budget. Philip Hammond is taking on FANGS.
This is an acronym, is it?
Yes?
Facebook and Netflix.
It's a list of companies, FANGS. Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google and Satan. And he's introducing... Oh, sorry, not Satan. It's just a plural S. I'm so sorry. A digital services tax for the big online companies, but it won't be implemented until 2020 to give them time to think of a way of dodging it. What tax did George Osborne bring in to tackle the internet giants?
Why are you looking at me? I mean, I only go to the gym with him. I don't talk about that.
Do you go to the gym with him?
With George Osborne?
Time to time.
Who can lift more weights?
Me.
Who's faster on the running machine?
Me.
Who destroyed Britain?
Well, he introduced...
He's got a lovely set of buttocks, that's the main thing.
You make it sound like he collects them. None of them are his own. This is a wooden pair from Lord Rochester in 1873.
Well, he introduced a tax, the so-called Google tax.
Yes.
And who didn't pay it?
Google.
That's right. Well, they convinced the government that it didn't apply to them. This is Philip Hammond's so-called giveaway budget. The Chancellor has changed the law to allow people to get married in fast food outlets such as McDonald's. There will still be solemn and legally binding ceremonies with the registrar present to fillet-officiate. To complete the romantic experience, you can consummate the marriage behind the bins.
Is that why we had that story?
Yeah.
This week, David Cameron visited a petrol station in Marton and asked for a whisper, to which the shopkeeper said, "You fucked up, Brexit." Paul and Robert, have a look at this.
That's a man, I think he used to work for the Waitrose magazine.
William Sitwell.
William Sitwell, is that his name? There's the aforementioned supermarket, Waitrose, and there's a man who's pretending to look for his glasses but actually isn't, and takes them off to see something a little bit clearer. So, terrible piece of acting from that gentleman. Because if you see, the glasses are down his nose when he starts.
Clearly doesn't need the glasses
Look,
at all.
here we go, look, here we go. Watch this again. Look, there we are, watch. He's looking over the top of them, right? Can't quite make out the writing, so he takes them off. But he wasn't looking through them in the first place. And this is the kind of crap I have to put up with on this show. You wouldn't get that happening in Bonanza for a start. When you see a bloke on a horse, it's the same horse throughout the entire show. What was the question?
Angry vegans.
Angry vegans, that's it, Waitrose. Yeah, the Waitrose editor got very angry. So a journalist suggested an article about vegans.
He threatened to kill them.
And he threatened to kill them.
He lost his job over this.
Yes, I haven't heard. What did he say?
A vegan writer
Yes.
got in touch with him and pitched a series of plant-based meals.
Yeah.
And he wrote back, how about a series on killing vegans one by one?
It was meant to be a joke, wasn't
Yeah.
it? He was obviously fed up with having a lot of articles pitched to him about vegans and made a joke about, well, why don't we have one about killing them? And then it went on Twitter. And then it went mad.
Isn't Twitter awful? Well, don't write to me. All I'll do is correct the spelling of your tweet and send it back. Hashtag bugger off.
Wasn't he a Russian spy in the 1950s? Oleg.
remember.
Oleg Buggerov, that was it.
Yeah.
I wonder sort of why the vegans are so angry. I'm not sure they're angry. I think they might just
No, people are pretending that
No,
they're
I just think they
angry.
might...
Surely they're not.
You don't just think they might be hungry. I mean, that's...
When he lost his job, the Vegan Society released a statement saying, "We hope this sets a precedent that it's not acceptable to mock a group of people because of their lifestyle choices." That's a massive thing to say. I mean, we might as well all go home, no?
Yeah. It's weird that they were baying for blood, wasn't it?
Was Spock a vegan?
No. Vulcan. No, that wasn't Vulcan.
He's very worried he might have lost his job as first officer.
Why was Sitwell's comments particularly embarrassing for Waitrose this week?
They were launching a Killer Vegan Week. Half price off yoghurt.
It's the opposite.
They've got lots of vegan food because it's very
Give
popular.
birth to a vegan week.
Well,
The opposite of killing one.
no, this is the week of International Vegan Day.
Oh, right.
What else has Waitrose had problems with this week?
People stealing their coffee when they go in with their own cup.
Don't worry, they can't prosecute you if you admit it.
Is that true?
No.
No.
Waitrose have had problems with a cheese. Have you heard about a cheese at all?
Stinky cheese, or it's called something hideous.
Yes.
Slut cheese or something.
Keep
cheese.
keep going.
Whore cheese.
I'm finding this quite erotic.
Strumpet cheese.
Scatological cheese.
It's
Trollop cheese with biscuits.
Slaggy waggy cheese.
no, just
Huzzy cheese.
Your maw cheese.
Dirty old cow cheese.
Smell cheese.
Dirty old cow
Slutty,
cheese.
smut, slutty cheese.
Am I having a nightmare?
Put your clothes back on cheese. Is it not cheese?
No, it's smelly Scottish cheese called the Minger.
Oh.
Yes, it's described as a ewe's milk brie with a hard rind and a soft, gooey middle. That's what it says on my business card. And what are Waitrose unhappy about?
It's stinking out the supermarket. It's too smelly.
No, they like the smell.
Yeah.
They don't like the name.
Well, it might be a bit awkward. You get to the checkout and you're with your significant other and you
Yes,
say,
indeed.
there you have, you've got your minger with you.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Is it a traditional
I'd just like to point out I didn't move a muscle during that exchange. Although every muscle inside me was screaming.
Who else, apart from William Sitwell, who
Yeah.
else has been in trouble for banter?
Sir Philip Green.
Oh, yeah.
It's nearly pantomime season, isn't it?
Yes, he said this has been the worst week of his life.
Has it really?
Yeah, there are people dressing up as him for Halloween.
Leaving aside what Philip Green may or may not have done, or what you might think of him personally, what do you think about what he's saying of Lord Hayne, that he thinks he's above the law? Is it OK to name him in the Lords?
Well, I mean, there was a court order and he probably shouldn't have done it, but...
It's an ancient privilege for Parliament, though, that the representatives are allowed to disclose these things under privilege.
That's true, you can do that. I think, haven't you done that once?
No, I've never been an MP or a member of the House of Lords.
Weren't you in a parliamentary committee and didn't you do that? I seem to remember, I might be wrong.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, well, a lot of this is ancient history. I think we should...
You don't want... I mean, you know...
How much banter has Philip Green been attempting?
He says it's banter. Other people say it isn't. And he's made a number of agreements with people for £500,000, £1 million. I mean, that's quite a lot of banter, isn't it?
According to The Times, there are at least 7 cases in which former workers received substantial payouts to settle claims against Sir Philip, several of which reached at least £1 million.
Well, why is he paying out that money for banter?
Yeah. And if you say to someone, oh, I don't like your dress, £1 million. Perfectly reasonable.
You would never say such an ungallant thing anyway.
No, I really like your dress.
Oh, it's gone creepy now. It's gone the other way. It's gone the other way.
Speaking of £1 million...
Yes.
Yes.
How did Philip Green allegedly try to spend £1 million in 2010?
His birthday party?
Yes.
No, but it is to do with an evening out.
Did he hire Kate Moss?
Warmer.
He had like
Did
a
he
big
hire
event.
Kate Middleton?
I would say colder. Nancy Del Olio...
Oh, yes.
told
Nancy
the Sun.
DeLolio.
Oh, Lord.
Nancy Del Olio told The Sun that in 2010, after an event, Philip pawed at my wrist and told me, if you come with me now to my apartment, this night will be worth £1 million.
Wow.
Oh, please.
Wow. Not enough epidural in the world.
Who did she claim tried to chat her up in 2012?
Me.
No.
It was Ian Hislop.
What?
Yes. After she did this show in 2012, Nancy Del Olio told The Sun about Ian. He wanted to take me for a drink afterwards, but I couldn't go. Good evening.
It was Bants. It's just not true.
No.
At the end of the show, we go and have a drink in hospitality. She was sitting there, I was sitting there. I said, we're going to have a drink.
All right.
That was it. Sorry, that was me being Bruno Tololioli.
Well, yeah, yes, but what Ian's not telling you is that 2 hours later they were behind the bins at McDonald's. They couldn't separate them. They couldn't separate them.
Janey,
Yes.
you've got some experience of making powerful businessmen face up to the truth, haven't you? Shall we have a look at a picture?
That sign actually says runt. It's where I actually put my hand that made it look bad. That's the truth.
What was the occasion?
Donald Trump came back to Turnberry after my original protest in 2016, and I realised that I had to go back, and the police said to me, can you please not have a swear word on your poster? I went, OK. So I wrote Trump is a runt, but as I say, I unfortunately held the poster wrong.
Looks like the opening of a Strictly Come Dance routine.
This is the resignation of the Waitrose magazine editor William Sitwell. According to The Guardian, 21% of the population now claim to be flexitarian, i.e. vegans who occasionally eat meat. Or, as I call them, not vegans. Of course, if you really want to upset a vegan by email, just send them some spam. Also this week, Philip Green has denied allegations of bullying and sexism. Much of Philip Green's business empire, Arcadia, is actually controlled by his wife. Fair enough. You wouldn't want him interfering with Dorothy Perkins. According to The Times, Lady Green remains in Monte Carlo designing yacht interiors. It's good to have a trade to fall back on. And so to round 2, the cauldron of news. Fingers on buzzers, teams.
That took us by surprise. The Metropolitan Police are going to start selling a brand of clothing. They're going to turn it into a clothing shop, so you can buy... It used to be an offence to impersonate a policeman, but now you can buy police uniforms, helmets, truncheons, a lot, handcuffs. They're opening their own shop.
Right, and people from the Met as well. So you can you can have sort of Y fronts on that say Cressida Dick.
Yes.
That sort of thing. Yes.
Don't use this as a two-shot. Again, it looks like I was part of it. I mean... Oh, yeah.
Yes. I got a...
They're still doing it. Look, they're still doing it.
What's inspired the range?
Desperation.
New York Police Department.
Yeah, that's right. Let's have a look at some of the NYPD branded clothing that's done well.
Yeah.
According to the Times, the Met clothing range will feature the Met Police font and colour palette. Should we see a mock-up from the Evening Standard?
Yeah.
Lovely.
Well,
And as you say, Robert, some items will also include imagery of officers on patrol.
wow.
Would you
no
like
one's seen that for years.
Also this week, the Security Minister, Ben Wallace, said that organised crime is costing the UK £37 billion. Whose fault is that?
Organised criminals.
The general public.
Yes. According to Ben Wallace, the public needs to face up to their role in supporting organised crime. He singled out people using nail bars and car washes. Who is mostly responsible for allowing that to happen?
That's the middle class, surely.
That's professions such as estate agents, accountants and lawyers.
Ah, well. Money laundering was, you know, my speciality, defending money launderers. So I don't think I contributed really anything to them. I mean, they contributed the odd thing to me.
Did you get them off?
No, but I bought a house.
Why have police in South Yorkshire been ridiculed this week?
For not taking part in the musical of Policemen Who Strip.
That's not it. It's because of an e-fit they released of a man. Yes.
I didn't see it, but I'm very happy to look at it.
Brilliant.
OK, it's a man with a ginger beard who's
Yeah.
wanted in connection with the robbery. Should we have a look?
Yeah.
Here's the e-fit.
Oh, it's Prince Harry.
He's got 3 different types of hair colour.
He's been to a really dodgy nail bar, hasn't he?
Why is Police Constable Lee Willis not a fan of e-fits?
Ah, because he looks like one of them. And he keeps being arrested by his chums in the canteen.
He doesn't. He is still being ridiculed for one that he drew 14 years ago. Poor PC Willis. He told the Metro this week, at the time, I thought this is really good. Why is the e-fit still being used?
They haven't found him.
According to the Times, the image is so bad that it's still passed from station to station as an example of how not to construct an e-fit. I've never wanted to be in the police as much as I did when I read that this PC Willis said that I recently walked into a briefing and they were all wearing it on face masks. Before we leave the cauldron of news, what was put on the bonfire this year in Lewis?
Oh, I don't know about Lewis. There was a fantastic Boris guy. I thought it was...
Edenbridge.
Edenbridge.
Yeah.
All right, hold on a second. I'm going to ask a question again, just in case we've got it both ways. Before we leave the cauldron of news, what was burnt on a bonfire this week?
Boris Johnson in Edenbridge. That's the bit they'll use, Ian.
You're right, Paul, and now we know why I always lose.
A Boris Johnson effigy. Did you see that, Bernard?
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's really good, and he hasn't got his trousers on. He's obviously run away from another bonfire. And one of the people who are making it said, at last we can show him with his pants on fire.
That's the one. It's good, isn't it?
I don't really like it when they burn these effigies on the bonfire. No. Like they do in Lewis every year.
Do you not?
No, I find it a bit creepy. I mean, in a way, I like the old-fashioned nature of celebrating bonfire night rather than Halloween.
Yes, I hate all those ghouls and monsters. I think burning Catholics is much healthier.
Happy Halloween. This is the news that the Met Police are launching a new range of merchandise. It's not known where they plan to sell all this stuff, presumably PC World.
Yes.
Soon you'll be able to order the items on Amazon, and one thing's for sure, they'll arrive at your door a damn sight quicker than a policeman. Time now for the Missing Words round, which this week features the magician's favourite monthly magazine, Magic Scene. And we start with one of the hardest tricks for any magician is what?
To be called Ian. Look at the words.
It's brilliant.
Ian,
Magic Ian.
Magic Ian.
Yeah.
Magic Ian, yeah.
That is good. Magic Ian is good.
You just bullied them into clapping.
Yes! This is how I got all my things.
One of the hardest tricks for any magician is trying to find enough bookings. This is an editorial piece from Magic Scene containing advice for aspiring magicians. If you'd like to find out more, you can send a letter to the editor. Or a card, any card. Next, what opening a branch at MI5?
Is it ISIS?
Greg's.
Greg's Bakery opening a branch at MI5. This is the news that Greg's, famous for their competitively priced meat pies, are opening a branch at the GCHQ Listening Centre. Their motto is, we're all ears. Just to be clear, that's GCHQ, not Greg's Meat Pies. Next, Prince Andrew upset magician by what?
His mere existence.
Is it pouring paraffin over him?
Is it touching his rabbit?
Was he haggling about his fee at the royal wedding?
It is to do
He
with
was
the royal
doing
wedding.
close magic during the sermon.
Prince Andrew upset magician by talking through his act.
He didn't.
Makes a change from talking through his arse, doesn't it? Very much, thank you.
This week it was revealed that at Eugenie's wedding, Prince Andrew upset a magician by talking through his act. The royal family spent £2 million of taxpayers' money on security at Eugenie's wedding, and still Robbie Williams got in. And finally, man wants what to be recognised as a world record?
The most rabbits out of a hat in the shortest time.
Is it man wants his pigeon folding ability to be recognised as a world record?
His pigeon folding ability.
Yeah, you know how magicians have pigeons and then they fold them up into tiny wee pigeons?
It's not...
I haven't seen this act. Well, and then do this.
Yeah, and then they go, oh, that's a pigeon, and then they catch it, and then they fold it back up. It's called pigeon origami, it's a thing.
The RSPCA have been trying to stop it for years. Yeah.
This is not from Magic Scene. The answer is, man wants sailing a giant pumpkin down the River Ouse to be recognised as a world record.
Well, that's not one we were going to guess easily, is it?
This is Tom Percy, who's trying to get a Guinness World Record for successfully sailing the biggest pumpkin. Let's have a look.
Yeah.
Halfway through his voyage down the river, Tom Percy noticed there was a leak in his giant pumpkin, which he picked up and used as a paddle. So the final scores are Ian and Janey with 3, Paul and Robert with 7. Before we go, there's just time for the caption competition.
Oh, that's a woman at a wedding with a big bird with its beak tied so that she'll know what to expect in the years to come.
Pelican says the stork couldn't make it, but you're 3 months pregnant.
And I leave you with news that during a tense meeting at the BBC, one star demands more royalties from the sale of David Attenborough's DVDs. On a train in Leeds, a harassed passenger tries to make a subtle move towards the emergency brake handle. And in the Oval Office kitchen, Donald Trump intercepts a message from Melania. Good night.
In the host chair next week at the same time, David Tennant. Earlier this week, something very chilling went on here at the BBC. Go to iPlayer to investigate with Inside Number 9 live. Next here on BBC One Tonight, we find out who really doesn't like fish. Would I lie to you?
Join me, Nish Kumar, for the MASH report at 10 o'clock on BBC Two. Well,